Apparently, all you really need in the true apocalypse is cigarettes, because that's what people will kill for. And you can trade them. You can trade them for anything. So I think I just got to stock up on smokes.
Hi, beautiful human. I'm Zach. That's Dan, and we welcome to the studio. Mae Martin's here.
Hey.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
I'm so excited to be there. I walked through like the TV section. I think I pitched a TV show in that other building.
Yeah, and Prime Video right across.
Yes, years
MGM
ago.
Studio.
And I bombed in the pitch.
But look at you now.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, genuinely, when you look back at those moments, are they you learn from those. You learn from bombing.
Yeah, 100%. I really don't mind bombing at stand-up. I get kind of a sick, perverse enjoyment from it. It's so raw, and I like watching people bomb as well, because you really see them just grasping for anything. And there's something really beautiful about it, though. Like someone really going, I sat down, I thought this was funny, I thought everyone was going to love it, and now no one's laughed. Like it is kind of beautiful.
Do you find that when you're grasping for something, can that ultimately bring out the best, or do you only get better by reflection and then doing it again?
Kind of both. I find it hard to write punchlines and stuff without the adrenaline of having to do it in the moment. So I do a lot of improvising, and then afterwards I might listen back to it and find new tags and stuff. But yeah, a lot of writing happens on stage, I think, because you have to, because there's no other way. There's no way out.
Do you find the same when you're writing a TV show or show running? Because I've been on sets where people are writing those things in the moment.
Yeah, there's definitely there's the writing stage, and then you're rewriting on set, and then you're really rewriting in the edit. I think is the craziest time, where you're cutting whole scenes out, and there's scenes that you were like, we can't lose another line of dialogue in the scene or it won't make sense. And then in the edit, you're like, we don't need that whole 5 minutes, and you see it in a totally different light. So there's all these different stages of rewriting, and yeah.
You first get introduced to comedy when you're 11 years old.
Yeah.
Your parents are comedy fans?
Big comedy fans. Super creative family. And I got taken to it was called a Yuck Yucks comedy club in Toronto, this chain of clubs. And I sat in the front row, and I had like a little waistcoat and tartan trousers. And I don't know, I was just always very drawn to it and taken with it. And then the headliner got me up on stage and made me be his ventriloquist dummy, and made me say all this filthy stuff about like Pamela Anderson and stuff. And I was like 11, and he thought I was a boy. And then I got a big laugh by saying I wasn't, and then I was hooked. Yeah.
Was it the laugh that hooked you, or was it the form of storytelling?
I think it was just the laugh. I think that was just like the high of the laugh, maybe. But I don't know what. Yeah, my parents just always idolized people who could make fun of themselves and who could, and yeah, we listened to a lot of comedy vinyls and stuff in the house. So
it's just really interesting, because like this becomes your form of storytelling and expression, but you're also a musician.
Am I? This is very new, Zach.
No, you definitely are.
Thanks.
I mean,
no one's heard this album, so I'm.
Oh, it's spectacular.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah,
it's super vulnerable.
It's phenomenal. But
thank you.
But there's a shared vulnerability between stand-up comedy and music.
Yeah.
The ties are very deep.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, yeah, and my style of stand-up as well is often like self-reflective and explorations of themes. It's less observational about just like day-to-day stuff, which is such an amazing skill that I just don't have. So my stand-up is very personal. So it's not a crazy leap, I hope.
But it is a different way of expressing your story of who you are as, a human being.
Without the pressure of like finding a punchline, you can be earnest, and I'm Canadian. I'm very earnest, and yeah, it was nice to, and even I think maybe if you have a half thought that you can't even really crystallize into an opinion, and there's something more ephemeral about it, then you can say it more poetically and get it across better, without having to really distill it.
Well, yeah, because like when you're distilling something, you have to get to the point.
Yes.
And there is like this assumption that you want to kind of keep, and maybe I'm totally wrong, but you want to keep an act as easy to understand as humanly possible, because there's things to follow. There's elements and layers, but the same thing with a song.
Yeah.
but you repeat. There's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I used to do musical comedy, like really bad musical comedy, just changing the lyrics to songs, and I really loved doing that. And then I do like a monthly show in LA at Largo, and that venue has this rich history of musicians, and Elliott Smith used to play there, and so I always have musical guests, and it's so funny, like you're sweating doing stand-up and just filling every silence and trying to get the audience on board, and then the musical act goes on, and like you can hear a pin drop, and everyone's like, it's just a direct route into people's souls and hearts, and so yeah, that's really intoxicating in a way, yeah, but scary.
Yeah. What is scary about it that's different than doing stand-up?
I think, well, I've always written music since I was a teenager, but truly never shared it with anyone. And like, it's been this weird private thing. And so it's vulnerable showing other musicians and and comedians and things. And then also when you're playing, you can't just bail on a song. Like if a joke's going badly, I can
pivot.
Yeah, I can pivot. I can be like, I don't know, guys, that was garbage, But with the song, the whole band's behind you. You can't be like, forget it. Yeah, it feels like it requires, more vulnerability to commit to it.
I want to understand fully like why music wasn't something you wanted to share, but comedy was.
Yeah, I felt like I don't know what I just was always really passionate about comedy, and then music felt like a more personal relationship I had with it. And I don't know, I felt like just sheepish about it. I don't know. I really idolize musicians, and it feels like this elite club of people that, and I just had like imposter syndrome. And so I don't know, I would just record on my own and mess around.
Do you remember the first song you wrote?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do. Well, my dad I got a bass, and then my dad would play the bass and I'd play the guitar in my basement, and we had just a book of every Beatles song and all the chords. And so we did that a lot. And then I wrote a song in grade 4 with this friend of mine called Stephanie Sampagna called 2 Seconds Too Late. And it was about a death by drowning. It was so dark. It was so dark. And we hadn't experienced any hardship in our lives, but we were like 2 seconds too late. And then the first song I actually wrote was actually the chorus of the single for this album, Good Dream. I wrote the chorus as part of a different song called Took It All Off when I was like 17 or something.
Whoa.
Yeah, but I used to like at camp around the campfire play like Third Eye Blind and those types of Matchbox 20 covers and stuff, and it was
Your voice is great.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
And are you playing guitar on the record?
I am. Yeah.
Well, superb.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's great.
Thanks. I took lessons when I was a kid.
Wait, so this is like, okay, you're a real musician.
I really appreciate it because someone took like a headline out of a podcast I did and then made it a headline that I guess I said I'm releasing some mediocre emotional songs, and then they were like, Mae Martin to release mediocre emotional songs, and the record label was like, can you stop doing that? Like, so yeah, it's really nice. You're the only person that's heard the album, really, so thank you.
So you're trying to be self-deprecating around your album?
I'm trying to not to be.
Yeah, but you have been.
I have been because it's so new, and I know that music is so subjective too, like more than comedy. 'Cause comedy's like, does it trigger a laugh response in you physically? And music, it's like, does it touch something in your soul? And there's tons of music that's objectively amazing that just doesn't speak to me personally. So I guess in a way that should be comforting, because it's like you should be less attached to what people think, because it's as long as it's like an authentic expression of what I like and what the sounds I like, Yeah, but I'm proud of it. It was so fun to make.
You should be proud of it.
Thanks.
But it's also the music I love. Like I love singer-songwriter. I love folk. I love anything that has you're playing the harmonica.
Yeah.
There's sax on this album.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not playing the sax. That would be wild.
Maybe one day.
Don't
limit yourself.
Yeah, you're right.
That'd be an incredible visual.
Yeah.
I don't know. Challenge yourself.
Like they really feel it too.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saxophone's a very special instrument, but so is the harmonica.
Yeah.
Would you play that?
I don't play it very well, but I do play it. Yeah, I'd like to get better at it.
Are you the one playing it on People Get Back Up?
Yeah, yeah. And actually, that song's about like I think a lot of people have lost friends who've taken their lives and stuff, and I have a lot of young male friends from my teens who are like gone too soon, and so one of my friends, his mom gave me his harmonica, so that's his harmonica, and the song's sort of about him, so that was super meaningful. Yeah,
a lot of this album is very much attached to who you were.
Yeah,
right? Growing up,
definitely. I wonder why that is. Maybe because music was something that after my teens I kind of put away, but in my teens it was so visceral, and so maybe, yeah, it was when I moved to LA. I had suddenly a lot of time and space, and you're making a new social world, and so I had a lot of time to myself at first, and a lot of the people I know in LA just happen to be musicians instead of comedians, so maybe that, I think organically that's how it happened. But
so timeline is like, when did this process really start on this album? Yes, there's elements of songs that you wrote when you were 17, but when did you finally go like, I gotta do something?
I was like 2 years ago, or I guess I started writing the songs 3 years ago when I moved to LA, and then 2 years ago I played them for my friends Jason Cowes and Wes Marcel in the Darcy's, and they said they'd help me produce it, and yeah.
So you went to them with what, really?
I had these demos of all the songs.
So just you and guitar, or what?
Me and guitar, and then like little, on your GarageBand or whatever, you can get like drum samples,
yeah.
And I mean, yeah, and me doing the harmonies and stuff, and bass and piano and little things like that. But they were really rough. But to have like musicians say that it's decent, that was really nice. And then
you just did it on your own? Taught yourself?
What's that?
You taught yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get this energy. So like, you just moved to LA and you have time on your hands?
I had a little bit of time. Yeah, I was in an Airbnb, like, feeling starstruck by LA and like the beautiful sunsets, and sitting on my balcony. And I had like a couple of sketches of songs I'd worked on, and I just started spending every night like honing them, and yeah.
So it just organically happened is boredom the right? And like just being alone with your thoughts?
Yeah, maybe having the time and space. And then actually making the album was really piecemeal, because I was in the writer's room for this show that I was about to film. And so we were just doing it on weekends and like where we could, but it came together really well, I think, in the end.
But so most of these songs are written on your own, or all of them?
All of them, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you.
You're such a Taurus.
Taurus. Dude, you're right. I like a safe little home bubble, and I like to arrange my little things and my, amethyst crystal in my space, and yeah.
But also, like, you take on like little like things that are just like natural become larger than just like passions become bigger than.
Thanks.
You can imagine, just organically.
That's like, yeah, just finishing something that you start can be so hard these days, but that's what I try to cultivate, that energy for sure.
And very organic roots, like no real intention, no commercial desire, just.
That's why I got to make sure because like you can lose the joy of something when you monetize it and share it with people. So I really want to make sure I don't do that, because it's been such a passion and hobby, and but yeah, like I've never really played music live before. So we're now rehearsing to play these 4 tour shows, and then I'm like falling in love with that. That's so fun and so scary. Like my voice, when I first started doing stand-up, I remember going on stage and like my whole body would shake and my voice was all quivery, and then I've been doing thousands of hours of stand-up, so I don't have that anymore. But with music, I have it. It's like going right back to the beginning. I get really like, so I've got to, I don't know, I was going to say I got to get drunk before, but I can't do that. Yeah, no, my fingers become all.
Honestly, perform any chance you have.
Yeah, and just get the hours in, I think.
I mean, it's
right?
the same thing with, 100%. Like, yeah. I mean, dude, you've clocked tens of thousands of hours.
Yeah.
Locked in on comedy.
And there's no shortcut. You just have to put the time in, I think.
Yes. Are you watching things that you've created, like TV shows, wanting to go back and do things differently after it's out in the world?
Yeah, 100%. Especially with stand-up, yeah. I think with the scripted show, it kind of becomes its own thing, and it is what it is, and then but with stand-up, oh my god, yeah, just delivery. Like I notice little tics I have saying, and how much I say and and yeah, I don't really watch my stand-up much.
How much of the post rule applies to editing a stand-up special?
What's the post rule?
Like meaning like you can change an entire story, right?
Yeah, it's harder with stand-up because there's a flow to the hour that and like you can't really
figured out this hour.
Yeah, it's not like in a scripted show you can just be on the back of someone's head and then add ADR of them being like, and that's why I did the murder, But with stand-up you can't do that. Yeah, so that's trickier, and you film it over. Like the last special I did, you do it twice and you hope the audiences are going to be good. And in the first show, this woman stood up in the middle. She was in the front row and just got up and was very slowly packing her bag, putting her coat on. And I was like, oh, is everything okay? And she was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. I just have to catch the bus. And it was like 20 minutes into the show. And I was like, okay, like really? Yeah. And you think, this is my one chance to film it. But
so in that moment, you don't want that lady to leave. You would rather her sit there.
It's like either leave or be hilarious and let this interaction be hilarious and then sign a release form. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's really cool. You have a lot going on all the time.
Thanks.
You seem to manage it well.
Well, I mean, I'm having a lot of nightmares about like great white sharks and being in deep water and always being on the run from some kind of large predator. So,
whoa.
Yeah, other than that, I think I'm handling it okay. And I'm always looking forward to like in this, because you got to live a life as well, or you have nothing to say or talk about. You can only mine your teens so much. So
you can only get one album out.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited this summer to like go somewhere weird or travel.
Like, let's unpack the dream. What do you think? What's the predator? Is it like a network? Is it like what is it? Because you have a lot of people that you have to answer to. Like you're a showrunner. You're running this business. Like with the label from the music side. That's a lot.
Yeah, I googled the meaning of great white sharks. Well, should we Google it? It's
being chased by a great white shark.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a dream, because the second part of the dream was me pursuing an iguana and then catching its tail and the tail falling off. And that, there's tons of stuff on what that means. Well, I can't remember any of it.
Being chased by a great white shark often symbolizes a feeling of being overwhelmed, threatened, or facing a significant challenge in your waking life that you may feel powerless to confront.
Sure. Yeah, that checks out. Yeah, that's pretty standard, I think. Yeah. Yeah. I either have dreams like that are very clear metaphors for, feelings of overwhelm, or I have really specific dreams about celebrities where I wake up and I feel like I know them. Like I had a night where I just had a full relationship with Marshall Mathers, like full me and Eminem, and I woke up being like, I get him. Like I really know this man.
What'd you learn?
Oh, he was just a sweetheart in the dream. He was misunderstood. He was in his brunette phase, and yeah. But I don't know that that's really what he's like. But my version in my subconscious was, he just needs a warm embrace.
I've heard things similar. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. I hate hearing bad things about people, don't you?
Yeah.
You're like, do I want to know this? Yeah.
No, you don't.
Never.
Usually. You
never do.
No.
Yeah.
No. Really impressive. Big Taurus energy. I'm telling you, like if I was sober, I'd have this energy. We share a birthday. May 2nd.
Stop it.
Yeah, I swear to God.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's really big.
Yes, it's huge.
I never meet May 2nds.
It's a rare one, right?
That's great, man.
I think The Rock shares a birthday.
Yeah, I know The Rock and David Beckham.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and Da Vinci died on our birthday.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I don't know what that says, but wow.
That gave me chills.
How do you feel about May 2nd?
No, I think it's a good birthday.
I think so too, yeah.
I'm very lucky to be a Taurus. I feel very blessed.
Me too.
I think a lot of the reason why we still exist today in some cultural aspect of this whole fucking ecosystem is because I'm a Taurus.
Really?
Yeah, and severe ADHD.
Yeah, same, I think. And do you what star sign are you most attracted to in your love life? Do you end up, I'm very Virgo, like everyone, it's always around that time, like September, October, November. Those are
I've
the
done a
people.
lot of research. Scorpio is like what's really,
Really?
aligned for a Taurus.
Yeah.
I'm currently dating a Pisces. It's,
That's nice.
it's
Emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pisces are interesting. I had a call with
Yeah.
a psychic yesterday.
Oh, really?
You did?
What'd
Yeah.
they say?
Yeah, I'm like seeking psychic counsel
Me
while
too.
parallel to my therapist. You know what I mean? Like I'm just kind of going to put them both next to each other.
Just scattergun, like, see what sticks.
At this point in my life,
Yeah.
fuck it.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, the news is, the things I'm scrolling past are so paradigm shifting and seismic. Like the headlines of like,
Oh, it's crazy.
oh, top Yale scientist thinks that all time is happening at the same time, or like these quantum things that I don't know how to synthesize it. So I'm like, I'll just see a psychic, I think.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It's a different form of therapy. I can give you
Yeah.
my lady. She's really good.
Is she?
Yeah, she solved a few murders.
Oh my God, give
Yeah.
it to me.
Yeah, I got you.
Because I watched Tyler Henry, his Netflix series.
So good.
It was wild.
He's such a gift.
Yeah.
Really special guy.
Have you met him?
Yeah, he's been on the show. Sat right there.
I knew I felt something.
Yeah.
Do you think he'd see me?
I'm sure they'd have you on that Netflix show.
Oh, that would be rad.
I mean, yeah.
I'm scared of what he'll say. Because he predicted the fires for Ricky Lake.
Yes.
Yeah. Insane.
They know things. They can
do.
feel things.
Yeah. I fully believe it. Because my grandma went to see one after her partner died, and it was one where you don't pay. They were just like, this is a burden, the gift. This is in London.
Wow.
So they're like, we'll do it for free. And she goes in expecting to see her partner or communicate with him. And the woman was like, your father's here. And she was like, oh, I don't really want to talk to my father. I don't have any memories of him. He died when I was like 4. And she was like, well, he's here and he wants to say that he's sorry he yelled at you when you brushed his top hat fabric the wrong way. And she's like, that's the only memory I have of my father.
Weird.
How weird is that? Unless the psychic's like reading her mind. Anyway.
It is real. People are
Yeah.
sensitive.
Yeah.
I believe I know it.
Yeah.
Like I know it.
Me too.
Like prove me otherwise.
Prove me otherwise.
Like I'm sure people will and attempt
Yeah.
to. Like go ahead, do it. Let's go. Let's debate it.
Yeah.
Anyway, can we talk more about music?
Yes, I'd love to.
So, okay, let's talk about the title. I'm a TV. Canadians seem to be understanding it, but I don't. I mean, I've been thinking about it. Like, are you what people watch on television?
Look, there's not much to understand to it. I think there's a lyric in the song Stowaway that's like, I'm just a TV talking to you. And I think it's more about how we're all kind of...
It's a reason to change my name, a reason to start again. I'm feeling fine. I'm just a TV talking to you.
I think it's like we're all kind of holding so many projections of other people and like and so much static electricity and who would you be if you'd never met another person? Like if you had none of these voices and the noise and the loud,
Interesting.
You know, like if you were just grew up in the woods by yourself, what would your personality be? And how much of your personality is like just coping mechanisms for, you know what I mean? What's
Yeah.
your true? That's what I'm going with today.
No, I get it.
I just like the phrase as well. I'm a TV.
Like this idea that like who would we be if like because we are all collections of the impressions like that every interaction, everything
Yeah.
we see when we scroll, everything we've consumed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
who
like
would we be?
know we're having this exchange now, but I'm also observing myself having this exchange kind of like, there's like some deeper awareness that's like observing the things I'm saying and the feelings I'm having. I don't know. Who are we?
Interesting.
I don't know. Yeah.
I get that. It's hard to break that, right? Like this idea that like you're kind of consuming as a consumer your own existence.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Why was Stowaway one of the first 2 singles you wanted to put out and introduce people to this side of you? I think is fair to say.
I went back and forth about Stowaway, but I thought Good Dream was a really accessible way into the album and kind of fun. And then I like how Stowaway's darker and a bit sexier. It's kind of I like the idea that we have to stash away these softer parts of ourselves, and often in relationships, to kind of get by, we end up like hiding the little scared, vulnerable parts, but that can only last so long, and before the mask falls, Yeah, I think.
It's true,
Yeah.
right? Like this idea, like, yeah, you can't keep a mask up forever, but also, is love defined by who you choose to reveal your, like put the mask down for and still exist with?
Totally. Yeah, gotta be. That, I think that's like the definition of intimacy for me anyway, is like total honesty, which is very hard to do. Like, it's, especially if you're, a people pleaser, you're afraid of hurting people's feelings, or you're reactive, you're easily hurt. Like, it's really hard to create a safe container for like total honesty with two people. And I think that should be the goal, but it's hard.
Yeah. It is hard.
Yeah. Tricky.
I get it.
Yeah.
I understand, because you don't want to hurt people.
No, and you don't want to get hurt. And so often you're responding with some historical thing.
It's so weird. At this point, I've like less cared about getting hurt, more cared about hurting other people and not wanting to.
Yeah.
Because like I've been hurt before, so I know I can just like heal and move on depending on the degree.
Yeah.
But like I really carry this burden of wanting to not hurt others.
It sucks. Being the dumper is harder, I think, sometimes, because then you don't get the sympathy from other people, and it's all on you to control and not reach out, and not, you got to have such boundaries, and it's so hard. Yeah, because nobody's ever really certain, about anything. But yeah,
this album is different because it is metaphorical and there is digging, but it is also in some cases straightforward and succinct.
Yeah. Less so than I was expecting it to be. Like, I thought it would be a lot more straight up confessional, and I think I ended up obscuring things a little more than I thought I would. But yeah, it's super personal. Yeah.
You're a phenomenal writer.
Thank you. Thanks. That's so nice. Thanks.
Just being honest.
You just know the types of words that you like the sounds of, and that feel good, and even when you're reading poetry, or just certain writers, you're like, they never say a wrong word, and that's what I'm always trying to emulate. Like, I love Dylan Thomas. Like, every word he chooses, I'm like, I love the feel of it in my brain and my mouth. Yeah.
You got to listen to their album. It's all waiting for you on Amazon Music. There's a link below. It's phenomenal. It really is great. And I went in with no expectations.
Oh, thanks.
And honestly, I just started watching your comedy.
Oh, cool.
But I've seen your podcast.
Oh, yeah.
You're great. The three of you are fucking amazing.
They're the best. Yeah. That podcast is like, ended up being one of the most watched things I've done. It's so crazy. It's just, we didn't expect it. So
it just seems like friends hanging out.
Yeah. I really look forward to recording it. And, yeah, but I'm really glad you like it. My main thing is I just don't want to seem like I'm like trying to be someone I'm not. So as long as people think it's like an authentic expression of what I do in other mediums, that's the best.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, totally.
Thanks.
But now I've been also going through your Netflix catalog and watching everything. So
great.
Yeah, I'm on a big kick. But also I want to watch the shows you made for the UK. Yeah, you very cool. You've lived in many cool places.
I lived in London for so long, 12 years. Yeah.
Your parents really blessed you. You have cool parents.
I do have cool parents, yeah.
Like, it's true.
I think about that all the time. And like, what if they hadn't got me guitar lessons? I'm very privileged.
Guitar lessons, showed up with you to that comedy club.
I know.
Giving you UK citizenship.
Yes, seriously.
That's huge.
I know.
So much free healthcare.
I know. I'm going back to London to do a show for this album, and I haven't been back in a couple of years, which is crazy. It's because I loved it. I spent all my 20s there at like the Edinburgh Fringe, and all my friends are there. I was there for so long, and I just left. So
what a special place to grow up.
It was wild, yeah, but it's so great. That's such a boring thing to say, but like, you don't realize until you've been there a decade how much you miss the sun.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I woke up one day and was like, I can't do it anymore. And
Yeah, it's very gray.
came here. It's yeah. It's the sky's low over. It's like the sky's like 3 inches above your head. That's how it feels.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it does feel like it's weighing on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in New Jersey.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, closer to Toronto
Yes.
than London, but right outside of Manhattan.
Do you remember the blackout of 2003?
Where? New Jersey.
It was
New York.
the Eastern Seaboard, and it was
Maybe.
because that's sort of the song "Garbage Strike." It's about this one summer where there was a huge blackout and a garbage strike in Toronto. So it was like the heat of summer and like steaming piles of trash everywhere, and then the whole Eastern Seaboard was out for like 5 days. Like all of New York, there was looting, and Toronto was. And I got kicked out of my house that summer. I was 16, and it was just like the most visceral summer that. I'm like, did that even happen? Like, it was so weird and dreamlike. So, yeah, I'm wondering if
I definitely lived through it.
you must have. You made it.
I
You
mean,
survived,
I was
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I was somewhere in the area.
Yeah.
But like, I
Maybe
don't
it didn't
know.
hit Jersey. Maybe.
No, but I do remember New York City experiencing very long, prolonged like blackouts,
Yeah.
and yes, looting and garbage. Like, really, you couldn't even believe it was
Just-
really atrocious.
Yeah, and the heat of summer. Yeah.
But how do you go back to that memory in particular? Like,
I'm-
where are you at? And
It's more like, how do I get out of that memory? I'm always there. Yeah, I'm always there. Yeah, and going home to visit and walking past those, every street corner has like 25 memories attached to it. So, yeah, but that particular summer was very intense. Yeah.
So where are you at when you're writing this record? Are you home? Are you just like going through a bank of your memories? Do you go through a diary?
No, I haven't done that, but I do have like suitcases of crazy diaries that look like if you found like a serial killer's house and there was just like pages and pages. But no, yeah. It's not like I'm sitting and stewing, but like, yeah, if I have a couple hours, I'll just free write,
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's real. I mean, like, I don't know. It's a great song. And I knew it was about a blackout. I just didn't know it was about that exact one.
Yeah.
But a brownstone down on Dover Corner, a garbage strike, a power cord again. It's very, like, vivid. Like, you can see a lot
There's
of
a line
it.
that's like, that summer there was so much trash. Because
You can
it's
feel
pretty on the nose.
You can feel it. By the way, again, listen to it. Amazon Music. What are you thinking, Dan?
Why did you escape to Big Bear?
Oh, great question. I was living in England actually, and I was thinking about moving to California. And I came over for work for something, and I just escaped for the weekend to Big Bear, and I didn't tell anyone. I don't know. I didn't really have a reason to. I'm sure I told a few friends, but I just sort of spontaneously went there, and then I was walking through the forest and I just felt so free, and the air was so fresh, and it was so American and new to me, and so it was about a real sense of freedom. And yeah.
What comes from that trip? Like, does anything change, or does your mindset change at all?
Well, that song really, I think I've made a voice note of it as I was walking, but yeah, I moved to LA soon after, so and stayed. Yeah, I think I meant to come for about 6 months for a writer's room, and then I loved it. That's just the expansiveness.
Well, you may be an American soon. Doesn't the 47th president want to make Canada part of America?
I saw that, and then the most concerning part was thinking, I bet there's a ton of Canadians who'd be pumped about that. Like, I like to think that my cultural identity in Canada would be like, no way, but I think he's got a lot of fans there too.
Interesting.
Yeah. I heard a theory that a weasel got into the CERN, like the Hadron Collider, like the particle accelerator in wherever it is. Is it in Geneva? Anyway, a weasel got in 2016 and accidentally like jolted us to a different timeline. And so we're in like this hell timeline because this is a real theory. Because a weasel got into this quantum machine. And it does feel, I remember, yeah, the first time he got elected thinking, things are not going to be the same. Yeah.
I have a deep desire for like answers. So if the weasel's the answer,
wouldn't it be nice if there was
Yes.
one clear answer? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, that weasel.
not just give me a scapegoat.
Yeah. Right.
Escape weasel. Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Well, I do have a question, and then I have a follow-up. But
Okay.
when you see that he only recognizes two genders, male and female, and then you film the nature of things, the Fluid documentary.
Yeah.
Well, what was your first reaction when he said that, and then what did you learn from making that documentary that you would want people to know?
That's a good question. I mean, when I heard him say that, I wasn't surprised because he has such a disregard for facts and leading scientists and experts, and it's the same thing that people, you can just say, oh, immigrants are taking your jobs, and it's provably untrue. Like, but you can say anything you want. So I wasn't shocked, but I was, scared and mainly just worried for kids and young kids. And it's also such a tiny percentage of the population. Like, it's just wild. But I hope that documentary gets seen. It was in Canada, and it's like
I couldn't find it here. I was trying so hard to watch it. I was like, damn, I got to go to Canada to watch this, don't I?
I know. It's like a Canadian institution, like this series. And so, I hosted one about gender fluidity. And it was reassuring. It was like there's such a rich history across all human civilization of like gender variance and different cultures recognizing multiple genders, and like the World Health Organization says gender is separate to biological sex and it's a social construct. And so it was reassuring to talk to experts. And then even from a biology point of view, there's so much variance, and there's really a clear like binary duality is really the exception, not the rule. In nature, there's so much fluidity and variance, and so that was, I don't know how to, it's like, I'm always trying to, I hope the documentary was like approachable, and it's always just trying to like be palatable and approachable enough to slip these things in and be like, guys, no one's mad at you, and this is not going to affect your life at all. And but then sometimes I feel like punching the walls. Yeah.
Yeah, like in your, I think it was the stand-up special, you compared it to Wi-Fi. You're like, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's not real.
Yeah, completely,
it's a great point.
Yeah, it seems to trigger a real panic in people, I guess, because it...
But why? Like, why does that affect...
I think it makes you realize, like, how gendered our society is, and how much is built on... these sort of outdated, and that's relatively recent history. That's sort of, because, anyway, whatever. I'm always worried. I never went to high school. Like, I dropped out of school. I'm always worried I'm going to put my foot in my mouth because I only know my own experience and then, like, the research I've done, and I've been lucky to do things like that. But I do feel like anytime you're trying to be, like, a spokesperson, you're just bound to fail a little bit. So I try to just like be a flawed person, but like an example of someone who hopefully it's like not really a huge part of who I am. Like I know I'm so much happier since I started identifying as non-binary, and so I'm like, that's all I know. Yeah.
That's your truth.
That's my truth, man. Let me live my truth. No, but seriously, dude.
By the way, it is really sad. I think a lot of it comes down to people just not supporting what they cannot explain or understand and what they do not know.
And what they can't, it represents a freedom that they don't have access to or something like that. And like, it's threatening to imagine that there can be that much creativity in who you are and how you express yourself and how you...
People like explanations for things. People like reasons. People like boxes. People like definitions. People like even music. Like the idea that like we need to take art and like put it into different genres is ridiculous.
I know.
But it's like that in so many different aspects of society.
It really is. Yeah, it was like when David Lynch died. I loved that quote of his. It's like, I don't know why people expect art to make sense. Like life doesn't make sense, and I like that a lot. Yeah.
And people need to understand that. Like, life doesn't make sense. And by the way, things in this situation, it does make sense because it is scientifically backed up and it is fact-based.
Yeah.
But again, it's
just different to the culture that you grew up in, which is an evolving culture and which is a recent phenomenon, really, because throughout history it's been very different. And different parts of the world, and yeah, even here.
Yeah, and dude, America sucks. You're so blessed because even from the art standpoint, like Canada and the UK have afforded you really incredible opportunities.
Yeah.
Like things exist there that just don't exist here. Like
Yeah.
If you want to get on a talk show, you have to be a superstar individual. Where
Yeah.
I've watched, I mean, one, and the tax breaks and like the way all the networks like want to embrace you and hear your pitches and put it, like, it's totally different, no?
Yeah, there's pros and cons. I mean, there's not the infrastructure and money there,
And it's small.
so and it's so much smaller.
Yeah.
But like, there are, they definitely nurture talent in a different way, and there's, I mean, when I first moved to England, I got a job as like an in-house writer at BBC Radio, like writing for news comedy shows, and that was like, to be in BBC Radio and in the building was such a, that was so great.
But also, like, what an amazing thing that, like, that's a government institution funded by the
Yeah.
government that even exists.
I know. Yeah.
Doesn't exist here. Oh,
I'm
wait.
still, like, starry-eyed, though, about living in LA, like, I mean, for me, like, getting to do shows where, like, my heroes just stop by and do a random set, and the people I've met here are so... everyone was like, it's so shallow and vapid, and I really haven't found that. And I've found that people are really up for making stuff, and they want to like collaborate, and yeah, so that's been exciting.
Yeah, but you're cool too. That's why they want to
Thanks.
collaborate.
Thanks.
You know, like, you're cool.
Thanks.
You have a couple like great things under your belt, a couple hits.
Right. So yeah, like I didn't have to do the open mics like circuit, for instance.
Totally.
Yeah, that might be rough.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
You came to LA on your own time.
That's true.
And like why'd you feel like now was the time though? Or the last couple of years?
That Big Bear trip was part of it.
That was it.
And I knew I was coming to do a writer's room for this thriller that is going to come out.
Is that Wayward? Is
Yeah.
that what it's called?
Yeah,
Wayward?
yeah. It's crazy. It's so different to anything I've done. I'm in the edit now. We're just like finishing it. Yeah. I'm excited about it.
So completely different than Feel Good.
Yes. It's like really scary. I mean, I hope it's funny as well, but it's Toni Collette's in it playing the villain, and she's so brilliant in it. And yeah.
Do you have to approach comedy differently in like London compared to somewhere in America? Is the humor different, or can you do the same set no matter where you are?
Canada and England are really tonally married, I think, and that was not a hard transition. And then coming here for sure was, yeah. I mean, less so. Sometimes it's venue specific. Like Largo in LA is such an amazing space because people come ready to hear music, and they're like, yeah, it's sort of alternative. But yeah, the club circuit here, I don't know. There's self-deprecation. People, if you say you're garbage, people are like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Like, I mean, in England, if you say you're good, people are like, get out of here. Like, so that was an adjustment. Just confidence and like pointing out instead of in always. And yeah.
Are you excited to do live music shows?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Yeah.
But I guess I like that on some level. I must. I keep doing scary things, so I must. But yeah, you know what? The other day we were rehearsing, and then we started playing like 90s covers for fun, and then that built my confidence, and it felt so good to be those guys that I listened to in the 90s. And so I think we're going to throw in some covers into the show just for the millennials to get nostalgic about.
What are you gonna play?
I was playing Babylon by David Gray, and I always play Third Eye Blind. I love Third Eye Blind so much, and it's borderline like humiliating. Like I went to see them twice last year in LA.
You should embrace this.
And then I met the guy, Stephen Jenkins, who to me is like Marlon Brando. I don't know. Just the people who at the right age like spoke to your heart, you know?
You know who I feel that way about?
Who?
The Goo Goo Dolls.
I love the Goo Goo Dolls.
I love them.
I love them. I saw them live when I was like 13.
Yeah, I saw them with the Counting Crows.
Oh my God.
They're great too.
Yeah.
That's epic. Yeah. Yeah, I see the Third Eye Blind guy, and I was like, I have to say something. And And so I went up and was like, "No, sorry, I just want to say I'm a huge fan." And he was really gracious and we started talking. And then at some point he was like, "Oh, I'll get you tickets to a show. I'll DM you." He goes to DM me, like I give him my thing and it's not, I've messaged him before. Like he can see my previous messages and I messaged him. It was so embarrassing. I don't even remember this, but I saw them play live and I must have messaged him, "Thank you for an earth-shatteringly good show." Like, it meant so much to me. Like, it was so earnest. Earth-shatteringly. This is like do.
Semi-charm life, right?
Yes, but more than that. Listen, you got to get into you got to do a deep dive.
It's a very, I think like it deserves more respect, that entire era and genre of music. Like,
Yeah.
They're like Blind Goo Goo Dolls, The Fray, Snow Patrol, like
Yeah.
Rob Thomas.
Yeah.
Semisonic. Who's
Semisonic, yeah.
Semisonic and they
So
won.
good.
Who else? Yeah. Yeah, tons.
More respect needs to be given to all those bands.
I agree.
We've just started having them on too. Like The Fray was just here.
Oh,
They're
no
great.
way.
Black Crows or Counting Crows? Who was here?
Counting Crows,
right
yeah.
here.
Counting Crows. Come on. Fuck.
Come on.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. But this whole thing gives me very much Hot AC energy. Like that.
What's Hot AC?
It's like it's a radio form. It's like adult contemporary. Like,
Oh, nice.
Again, like singer-songwriter folky type music, but like, I don't know. It's a vibe. It flows.
Thanks.
And again, like I love a story, and that's what I get.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Does being so deeply introspective and putting it into an entire album help you move forward?
Yes, I hope so. I mean, I get asked that about about stand-up or like feel good or anything where you're talking about, personal stuff or trauma. And I always say it's like, it is not a substitute for therapy at all. Like, you can just saying something out loud. Sometimes, if anything, is just reinforcing neural pathways. So you do have to pair it with therapy. But it's nice to have a feeling and then tie it up with a bow and like see it and package it and, you know, in sound or art and be able to look at it clearly. Yeah.
That. Like, by the way, we have artists who, I mean, out of a week's worth of artist interviews, probably 3 will say that like writing music is therapy. But the reality is like being able to kind of like make it tangible.
Yeah.
Allows you some form of understanding.
Totally.
But
and then what's therapy, I guess, is, or feels therapeutic, is then having people respond to it, because that makes you feel less alone, and you can say like the most specific kind of shameful thing and then people are like, "Oh yeah, me too," and you're like, "Oh, great." So I don't have to lay awake at night worrying. Yeah.
But still no substitute for therapy.
No. Got to see psychics, got to go to therapy.
Yes.
Well, you mentioned this like very early on, but when you're writing jokes and you find that punchline, what is that for music, or does it not compare at all?
I guess maybe there would be like, it's kind of analogous finding like a hook or a riff, like a sort of a little guitar piece that strings a whole song together, or but no, I don't know. I feel like it's different. Yeah. I mean, you definitely, there's a moment where it clicks into place.
Yeah, maybe it's just that click. You're like, I got something here.
Yeah. Because I have a bunch of half-finished songs that you like slave over and they just never click. And you know it's because you have to, at some point, go back to it with an open mind and then find, hopefully, the like twist or punchline that is going to shift it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have half-finished jokes?
Yeah. But I do them on stage, and right now I'm at that phase of the writing cycle where I really have nothing, and so I'm going up a lot with nothing, and just hoping for the best, and yeah. So I have a lot of half-finished jokes.
Okay, you're going up with nothing?
Yeah, I go up. I get the audience to write questions sometimes, and then I'm riffing off the questions. But yeah, often it's like what happened that day, or I'll have a vague idea of like a story I want to tell, but I've never told it, and it has no punchline, and so then I'm just hoping something will come out of it. But yeah, actually I did a show the other night where afterwards I thought, I think I gotta like I need to sit down and it was fun, but you end up getting the most laughs by being messy and being like, oh, that didn't work, and you don't want that too much.
Yeah, like what type of laugh is that?
Yeah,
know?
that's like clowning almost. That's like they're laughing at your twitchiness, which is fun as well. Yeah.
How long into stand-up how long did it take for you to appreciate the bombing? Where you're like, I can learn from this?
Well, it's been 24 years I've been doing stand-up, like doing it in clubs and stuff. And it probably took 15 years, maybe. Yeah, it took a long, long time.
I feel like that is my worst nightmare, just being on a stage, trying to make people laugh and just everyone's staring at you like, this isn't funny.
I know.
That's just instant panic.
I know. And then the worst is when you see someone turn on the audience and be like, this is funny. You guys are wrong. It's like, no, that's not the case.
You're the problem.
Yeah, it's like everyone wants to laugh. They're willing this. I've seen people go on and I saw a woman go on and then it was like someone had jogged a vinyl record and the needle went back to the beginning. It's like she just did the same long story twice and not knowing that she had just told that story. And so the whole audience was just like, and then she started turning on them. What, you don't think this is funny? And it's like, but you've just told that story. Yeah, it was crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, comedy in and of itself is like, it is such a gift. So to be able to do it and get it right, but like, how much of that is your truest self? Or is there any part of it a character at this point?
Yeah, I think as I've got older, there's less and less gap between my onstage persona and who I am, because I'm more confident as a person and it's too tiring to always. So yeah, it's pretty, at this point, it's pretty close to who I am. Although it takes a period of time between something happening and being able to process it and talk about it. So like if I got dumped yesterday, I couldn't do a set about it today probably, but maybe in a couple months I could,
Would you write a song about it?
Yeah, instantly.
Really?
For sure, yeah. That's true, because getting dumped isn't that funny. So there is an element of a mask there, because you're having to package it into something amusing.
And you talk about getting dumped as long as you're the one doing the dumping.
Yeah. Do I? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, what's more relatable than heartache? Yeah.
It's true.
There's so many breakup songs, right?
Yeah.
I know. I feel like embarrassed about that sometimes, that there's so much about like love and relationships, but that's the stuff of life.
It's what people want.
It is, right?
They're hungry for it.
Yeah.
I only see a little of the album artwork. Is that a big circle tattoo on your back?
Yeah.
What does that represent?
I got nothing, but I was 17 and I had $50 left and I was going to get evicted from my place, or maybe I just turned 18. And I was kind of like, I may as well spend the $50 on something really frivolous. It was a bad choice. And I went in and got this kind of shaky, I was like, oh, I just want something simple, like a perfect circle. And they were like, that's so hard to do. And it looks
like you have $50, so.
Yeah, it looks like a witch's cauldron, or I've had various comments about it from people I'm dating. But yeah,
I like how you're just using that as your debut album cover. You're like, you know what?
Yeah.
look at my shaky circle on my back.
Yeah.
You have a really interesting childhood, because you had an interaction or a relationship with psychedelics early on, right?
Yeah.
How much of that do you think formed you into the person you are today?
I don't know. On my still forming brain.
Yeah, you were 14.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was 13. Yeah, all through my teens. Yeah, I was in rehab when I was 19. Yeah, for 9 months, and yeah, I don't know. I definitely started. Not that I'm ever. I guess addiction to me is not about the substances themselves, really. It's about whatever your self-soothing and your ability to control that self-soothing. So I don't feel too bad saying that some of those experiences were totally revelatory, for sure. Yeah. Like peeling back the wallpaper on things.
I can only imagine, that's...
Yeah, how do you stay in school after you're like, oh, we're all... I don't know. Yeah. I remember seeing Dark Side of Oz, where they take Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and they line it up with Wizard of Oz at the third roar of the MGM Lion. It's on YouTube. You can watch it, and it syncs up perfectly. And I don't think I've ever been the same.
How old were you?
13 probably.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And there was this movie theater in Toronto, and you could go and you could smoke weed inside the theater. They just turned a blind eye, and it was like 4 full high schools in there, like everyone I knew, and we would all go and watch it and like weep with like the beauty of the hero journey that Dorothy's on, and like this music, and it blew my tiny mind. Yeah.
I mean, formative.
Very formative. Yeah. Pink Floyd was big. Yeah.
What is your relationship with all that kind of stuff today? Do you even have one?
I don't really have one. It's interesting now that it's becoming so mainstream, right? Like so many people are microdosing mushrooms,
Totally.
and they're doing research finally and stuff. I know there's like so many things I don't touch, like the bad ones, and then I'm kind of open to things like that they're doing more research on. And
Yeah, totally.
yeah, I'm like a moderation, harm reduction with most things, but then some things don't touch.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're addicted to something today? Is it being creative?
I'm definitely a workaholic. I think I can get addicted to emotional patterns, like, and certain relationship dynamics, that become very like cyclical, and that kind of thing.
Speaking my language.
Yeah, man, we're all like, I listen to Esther Perel. I'm like, yeah. So yeah, things like that. My phone is really bad.
Yeah.
Like real bad. Like hours. Are you like that?
Yeah, I'm a tourist who also has an addiction problem.
Yes.
Totally.
I'm with you, man.
Yes.
It's really tough. And yeah, all these kids are, yeah.
Yeah, I'm addicted to my phone. I'm addicted to a bunch of things.
Yeah.
God, where do we begin? You got a list of it all? I know you're
I
keeping
could
a
make
list.
one.
Yeah.
It'd be long.
What about you? What's your star
It's
sign?
real.
I'm a Sagittarius.
Sag.
Yeah.
What's that like?
It's cool.
I know nothing about Sagittarius. Is it sort of measured and organized?
I don't know much about this stuff at all.
Okay, yeah.
But I do know that I don't have addictions. Like if something's like, if I'm like, I feel like addiction's coming, I can just break it off and never touch it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that with social media a couple months ago, and it's the best decision I ever made.
Really?
Yeah. One day I just said, I'm going to stop scrolling all day, and I did. And then now I feel so like apart from it. Like I don't feel like I'm missing anything because I don't know what's happening in the first place.
Yeah, so now what happens is like every 6 weeks he comes in and he talks about things that are old, like it's
Yeah,
brand new.
Really? You're like, did you guys hear about these orbs?
Yeah.
This guy?
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God.
dude, the drones, they've been around for months.
Yeah, I'm late to the party on a lot of things, but then you're like, why do I need to know about this in the first place?
He
Yeah.
just found out about Donald Trump yesterday. It's so fun.
You're like the guy from The Apprentice? What?
He's the president?
I want to get rid of it, but then I feel like for work I need it. But that's such a
Yeah.
cop out. I could just get someone to post for me, right?
Or what I'll do is like, I'll post, and I'll turn it off.
Yeah.
I don't sit there and read it all.
There's something to having cultural awareness, though.
Yeah.
There's also something to not having cultural awareness.
Yeah, or
You
being
know?
like too present.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Like I just found out about some celebrity beef that's going on. How apparently I'm like 3 weeks late to that, but I'm like, now I know about it, but I don't need to know about it.
He wants to
Right.
live like in a forest. Like if we
Yeah.
were to live there and be, totally untouched.
I do know these things. We all kind of know what would be good for us, but we
hard
don't
to
do it.
do that,
yeah.
yeah.
But that sounds really nice. I mean, yeah. I heard a quote the other day that was like, the most important people in your life are the people in front of you in that moment. So like, you guys are the most important people in my life right now, because who the fuck? There's no one else here.
That
You know
must-
what I mean?
That means the world.
Yeah. Yeah, and you.
Carlos, you feel seen?
Like just being present with the people you're with, and yeah.
It's healthy. And by the way, showing up and being present is harder than
Yes, totally.
looks.
Especially, with this little machine.
fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out.
This has been so nice. I feel like we have really similar interests and
Yeah.
stuff. Well, May 2nd.
Yeah, we're
This is wild.
Taurus
yeah.
twins.
Yeah, man.
Just literally 6 years apart on the same day.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Are you younger?
Yeah, I'm 31.
31. Yeah. So maybe it's the third eye blind. That's why you're not getting
No,
as juiced when I talk about Stephen Jenkins.
Yeah, that's it. That's 100% it. Totally. You good?
We do have one big thing in common.
Oh, what's that?
I went to art school, and you're big into painting.
I'm painting a lot these
I know
days.
all your animals. I wish we had our studio's under construction. If you couldn't tell.
Really? Looks good to me.
Well, we're going to be putting a TV. I wish we could bring up your art and look at it. But yeah, you're real into animals with sort of quotes.
I think it's like a response to everything going on in the world that I'm just like reverting back to this child self of it's an animal or animals experiencing a big feeling in a location. And I'm addicted. Like last night, I spent 4 hours doing a koala drama teacher, and she's proudly watching her students doing a really experimental piece that she wrote. And the principal is like, "What is this?"
Wait, that's exquisite.
But it's like it's really
They're so good and detailed.
It's very soothing.
No, I'm telling you, like you're addicted to creative challenges and creative things. Because if I didn't like get into weed, I'd be the same thing. Like this is what I could be. Like this is like what the Taurus star sign allows somebody to achieve.
Right.
But like, weed just holds me back. Anywho,
You could hyperfixate on something like that. The cool thing is because I don't know, I've always just said flippantly I'm bad at visual art, like because I just thought that, and I'm not good, but I've done like 12 of these paintings.
Oh, it's amazing.
And I'm seeing myself getting better every time. And it's like, oh, fuck, you do get a little better every time.
Yeah, these are great.
Everyone should do them yourself at home. An animal having a big feeling.
This one is Basset Hound dines with deceased grandmother. Other diners marvel at giraffe waiter.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, let's unpack that.
Yeah.
I wish we could bring up the paintings so we could all look at it.
So I've seen them on your Instagram. I didn't know that they were yours.
Yeah.
Wait, that's amazing. Can I see?
I'm doing them at home.
Oh, it's great.
They're so good.
It's great.
Thanks.
By the way, this is a new creative challenge that you're going to be hyper fixated on.
And
will it get to a point where you're selling these things? Probably.
Probably.
Because music.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm like, why not? Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to go peddle them in Venice Beach?
I might just sell prints. Yeah. But then, interestingly, then people were requesting them. It's like, so someone was like, do a hippo at the prom, feeling awkward.
Oh,
I loved it.
I've lived that.
So I did, right. So I did it. And then my buddy, Matt, was like, I don't know, they've lost their magic. And like, he was like, because it didn't come from you, it's lost its magic.
But you need to live that experience.
It has to come organically. So
Okay, so are you the Basset Hound or the giraffe?
I think I'm the
waiter.
I think I'm the giraffe waiter.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Head in the clouds.
Interesting. How'd you stumble upon like the combination of quotes and animals?
Well, the quote is just something that comes after I do the painting. Then I just describe it in a sentence. But my dad he started making puppets. I
saw that on Taskmasters.
Yes.
Also, you have an accent on that show. Don't hide that.
I have an accent?
No, on Taskmasters. You sounded like British.
Really?
Yes.
It happens if you're there surrounded by British people.
You pick it up.
It's like an inflection that I try so hard to fight. And when I was there, they were like, you're so North American. And then I come here and people are like, you're so British. And I'm trying so hard to be my authentic self.
Yeah, just be you.
Yeah.
But it's in your blood.
It's in my blood. Yeah. But my dad, he is a writer. And then in the pandemic, he just started making these puppets. And he's so good at them. So that kind of inspired me. Yeah.
Damn. Well, would love to purchase one. I'll hang that in my house.
I'll send you the Shopify link once
I get a free one.
Yeah.
Or just send like Cash App. Just send me your Zelle.
Yeah.
QR code. Listen to I'm a TV. It's waiting for you. Link below. It's all on Amazon Music. You good?
Yeah, my last question is, what was that conversation like telling your parents at 15 that you're going to drop out of school to pursue comedy?
Not great.
Yeah,
Not great.
I didn't expect it to be great.
I think actually how it went was I'd had an argument and my mom said kind of offhandedly, was like, well, I guess you're just going to drop out of school now. And it hadn't even occurred to me that people did that. And I was like, yeah, I guess I could do that. And then, they were not very pleased. Yeah.
How long until they were like, oh wait, this is going to work. They're going to do something with their life.
Maybe like when I was 20, we kind of were connecting, and they said you need a backup plan. And so I did a 2-year diploma in massage therapy, in shiatsu massage.
That's right.
And I think that showed them that I But now they're so supportive and great. Yeah.
Because you ran away from home or left home, right? Or got kicked out.
I would say kicked out. Yeah,
you were kicked out.
They might say, yeah.
But you seek solace at like a comedy club, and that's where you end up working and studying, right?
Yeah. It was like chicken or egg. I'd been hanging out at this comedy club a lot and working there, and I think that was part of why I was hanging out with adults like from the time I was a kid, and then. But so it was weird because comedy was in some ways like quite a toxic environment for a young person, and I shouldn't have been in those clubs. But then at the same time, when I was on my own and really in a bad way, it was also a solace, and there are amazing mentors there who took care of me and stuff. So it was a real mixed bag, like any industry.
Totally.
Yeah. But some great people. And I don't know what I would have done if I wasn't so like passionate and ambitious with comedy. It kept me like getting out of bed.
Yeah, something larger to look forward to that wasn't massage.
For sure. Yeah.
But massage proves to your parents that you can stick to something.
Yeah.
Damn.
Got that diploma.
Hey, you used that degree?
No, I moved to England. I did it. There were like 2 summers at the Edinburgh Fringe where I would put a Facebook post going to any comedians need massages, and it just felt so creepy. Like going. So there's all these comedians who were like, I remember you were a masseuse that one summer, and I was just so broke, and it was like they'd give me £30, and I'd go to their like sketchy apartment and walk on them and stuff.
Wow.
But people would cry. There's like if you touch like the certain pressure points and stuff, people let their, it's a very beautiful thing in a way.
It is an art form.
Totally. Oh yeah.
It's real. By the way, you're very fascinating.
You really are.
You have an incredible life.
Thanks.
You're very, very, very interesting and a real artist, and I thank you for taking time and hanging out today.
Thanks for having me. This is a blast. And yeah, like I said, no one's really listened to the album, so it means a lot that you like it.
You should be really proud of it.
Thanks.
It's fantastic.
Thanks.
A year ago, in that same article where you said you're making mediocre music, you said you were embarrassed by it and you don't know how you're going to promote the music.
And here I am.
And here we are.
I know. And what's nice is like a broad-ranging conversation about lots of things instead of, because I'll run out of things to say quickly about like the skill of making music because I'm just learning. And yeah, so this was super nice.
But genuinely, it doesn't sound like somebody who's just figuring out how to make music. And obviously you had incredible collaborators, but collaborators that you felt okay to be vulnerable with. And like, dude, making music is one hard. And then also like collaborating and sharing that with like people in the room and everybody having a say on something that's just so deeply personal. Like, that
was what was so special about it was that, because I have had that experience in TV and stuff. There's so many voices and there's so much money on the line that everybody, there's more compromise than with music. And
totally.
Because I paid to record the album myself, and so I had total control, and that was really nice.
Thanks for hanging.
Thanks for hanging with me.
Anytime.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, come back. I'm at TV. It's waiting for you. Mae Martin, everybody.
Thank you. Woo.